This is part number 2 of my Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell, book number 1, summary. And we will start from where we had left off, the boy who cried wolf part. So now Connor had chose the boy who cried wolf part. He told it is about higher expectations. He said, why weren't his parents watching him? And no one can blame him for having a little fun. Then he ended his proposal with that. Actually, Connor Bailey was very honest about his thoughts, but his thoughts only amused the friends he had in class, not his teacher. Very well, Mr. Bailey, she said. Then off with you. Then he gone on the seat. And so Connor knew he had blown it. So he gone back into his seat and then got worried. And he knew only one person would be able to make him feel better. He only wished he was around. Connor and Alex's father knew whenever they needed to talk to him. He did not know by location, access or mood. He knew by the place. Whenever Connor was worried, he would sit close to a banyan tree next to their house. And whenever Mr. Bailey would return home from work, he would ask, what is wrong with Connor? One time, Connor said he got a bad grade in a test. And then his dad said, did he study hard? He said he kept studying hard until midnight. Then he said, why did you still get a bad grade? He said, because no matter how hard I study, I just keep failing. I'll never be as good as Alex, said Connor. But then his dad said, humor can also help. But now Connor said, humor doesn't help with maths, history and science. But then his father said, what are you saying? You are the funniest person I know. But even if then Connor said, even if I keep trying hard, then I'll never be able to succeed. He said, no problem, we can come up with our own way of studying. Connor said, which way? We can make fun of every historian, we can make fun of everything, every religion, everyone, every type of history, even World War II. He said, then Connor said, it's a good idea. So his dad said, okay, so next time we'll make fun out of every person who wrote the book you are reading. This time, and then he said, fine, but I like your story of Corbett. So Mr. Bailey said him a story about a walking fish, in which first line was, once upon a time there came a fairy across a river. There lived a fish who saw two things, one boy and one dog. They used to play with each other every day. And the fish also wanted to play with them. One day, while fairy came, then Connor interrupted, why do fairies appear anywhere without telling? Then his father said, employment obligation. Anyway, let's say that the fairy dropped her wand in the river and the fish got it for her. Happy? Connor said, yes, I'm happy. He continued the story. The fairy asked, what wish did the fish want? The fish asked for legs and lungs, so that he could go and play with them both. But then sadly the boy died. And he had to go back into the river as usual. The walk home that day was very quiet. Connor knew he had failed in the test and now he was going to get a bad grade. So Alex tried to make him happy, but she couldn't, and they kept going. And when it was dinner time, one time while dinner, she had said that tomorrow is their birthday. She said it's only 2 more years until we go to high school, and 4 more years until we can drive, and 6 more years until we can go to college, 8 more years until we can vote. And Connor was not really happy about that. One day a call came and it said, and then while dinner a call came for their mother. Their mother was working in the hospital. Then she answered the phone. 2 minutes later she was saying, "Oh no sir, I can't do it. It's my children's party birthday party tomorrow." Then the doctor said, then someone from the phone said, blah 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 blah. Then the mother said, "Yes, I'm aware about the cuts." Then she said, "The children, tomorrow there cannot be a party for some reason." The children were disappointed. They said, "No problem, we didn't expect for a big fancy party." They didn't expect for a big fancy party. So then their mother went in their attic and then she started crying there. "Oh, I miss you. Then blah 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 blah. They both came there in the attic. They asked what was wrong. Their mother quickly dried her tears and then said, "Nothing is wrong. Just I miss your father." They also said, we also missed him." One day, while they were coming from school on the walk home, then when they saw outside, they saw a big blue fancy car. Yeah, I'm a little clumsy, that's all. When they went inside, a big fat woman came in and gave them a big hug. "Oh, look at you, grown a foot taller since the last time I saw you." It was Grandma, and she had come to visit them. They asked the reason why did she come actually. She asked, she said their mother had asked to take care of them both when they come back home and organize a party for them. Then they were relieved that now there will be a party, a big fancy party to eat in, and then they will fill their stomachs. And then their mother came home, and she also had to stay late in the hospital that night. She gone to a talk with her grandmother, with a short pep talk. They said blah blah blah. Until then, Alex and Connor came. They started eavesdropping. That means actually listening to others. They said, "Yes, after their father has died, it's been quite hard to run the house and blah 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 blah." They knew if that they would eavesdrop any longer, then they would be caught. So they ran off to their rooms, set up, changed their clothes, and gone for a shower. And that's how it goes. Then their mother goes to the hospital. And then their grandmother starts cooking all kinds of yummy bread items mostly. While everything was finished cooking, they started tasting the food for enough salt. After that, they decided they will eat, as they were hungry. They were starving. While they finished eating, they didn't notice grandma was baking a cake while they were cooking together. A big cake with so many candles on the top. It was their both birthday because they are twins. I told you already. After eating that much, they were so full they couldn't eat another bite. They went to sleep. Before they went to sleep, their grandmother came in their rooms and then brought them up in the attic. They said their grandmother gave them the Land of Stories book. They used to read it there every childhood they visited their grandmother. They had grew up reading stories about the Princess and the Frog, Cinderella, Snow White, so many stories. Their grandmother said, I have read every story to every children around the world, but now it is time I give this book to you. They said, no grandma, we cannot accept the book. It is yours. What if you need to read the children? She said, oh no, I don't need it. I have revised all the stories. There is no need to take the book. They took the book and Alex kept it in her room. One day a buzzing sound came out of the book. Alex got scared. Then she thought she was hallucinating. Even Connor heard the sound. Some days later, while they were in class, so their ma'am asked a question, what is the two rivers between Iraq, Mesopotamia called? Everyone accepted Alex would pop up her hand, but today she didn't. No one knows Miss Bailey. Do you know the answer to the question? Then she woke up. Then she suddenly got up and she said, what ma'am? The answer to the question? Oh, no ma'am. Everyone was surprised. She couldn't even give answer to a simple question. Then their ma'am said, the Tigris and the Euphrates and blah blah blah. One time, ma'am asked another question. Mrs. Peter asked another question. This time, she expected Alex Bailey would say it. But when she said Miss Bailey, then she shouted with force. It was weird. She dozed off in the class for first time. She said she also didn't know answer to the question. Then she said, ma'am, can I have the bathroom? She ran to, then the ma'am said with disappointment, yes. She ran to the bathroom. Connor wondered why she went with her bag. He also gone with an excuse. He said to the teacher that he has hurted his elbow very hard. So he ran to a bathroom. He ran to the girls' restroom, and then he saw Alex there. Alex opened the book after that, and then she said, the book, it glows, it hums. And after that, Connor thought her sister was going insane. He said she needed to see the nurse. Oh my. She said, no, it's happened to me many times. At first I thought it was the food, but then I understood it was saying it was real. So they saw a bird came out of it suddenly, flying. After that they closed the book. They closed the book and then they gone in the class. After answering a few questions, Alex gone home. She opened her Land of Stories book. Then she tried to jump in it. Till then Connor opened the door with such a force, Alex fell into it. And this is only when they come in the Land of Stories. Then Connor also jumps into the book. He also ends up there. He says, where are we? Alex said, these trees look familiar. Alex said, gasping, we are in the Land of Stories book. Connor said, what? We are in the Land of Stories book? You are kidding. Then there came a frogman. There came a actually there came a royal guard passing by. They were sitting on horses. There was a big parade going. Horses were thumping, stomping, thumping, stomping. They gone by. When they came out, they saw a frogman. The frogman didn't have any name actually. He hid his secret identity from everyone. Actually, he didn't come in front of anyone. So he took Alex and Connor into his tunnel. He introduced himself and said about the land of stories world. There were lots of kingdoms: the northern kingdom, the sleeping kingdom, the corner kingdom, the blah 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 blah. Then we get ahead now. After that, then Froggy says, let's go to sleep. It's now almost midnight. Then they go to sleep. After that, in the next morning, they take a map with them. And Froggy said, don't you seem a little too young to go out? Alex said, yes, we might seem a little young, but don't judge us actually. I also packed you some food in case you feel hungry, Froggy said. And this is also a joke. And then Connor said, what do you mean by food? Froggy said, rolls and apples. He sighed. Then they go on. The first place they gone was the dwarf forest. Froggy had told them about the wishing spell. They were going to find it. And now we will tell you about the wishing spell in the next part. So, part 3. Bye bye friends.